All right, we are live. Welcome, everybody. My name is Tom Challan, and I'm excited to be here with you today. And I'm excited to embark on your best year ever. And I truly mean that. There are certain ingredients that I've learned over 22 years that have helped me really not just do good in a home business, not just make a few thousand or even a six-figure income, but how to be the best that I was called to be based on every ability that I already had. How did I maximize the best that I could be that year? I know what it looks like, I know what it tastes like, I know what it feels like, I know what it smells like, and I know what it could look like for you as well. And that's what I want to, oh, do you want to do my webinar? Come here, honey. That's what I want to help you do. And I want to help you have your best year ever. Now, look, maybe you're here with me right now and you've had one of the worst years ever. Maybe your last month was not your best year. The first thing I'm going to tell you right now is the only way this is going to work is if you're ready to hit the reset button. And oh, by the way, I want you to clear everything out right now. Part of your best year ever, it's going to take more focus than you can imagine. And if you're sitting there trying to mess around on Facebook or social media right now, while you're going through one ingredient can change your life. And being a top builder for years and a coach for many years, I know the ingredients of what you need, but you've got to be able to be ready to hear it at the time that I'm going to deliver it. You know, there may be a lot of things that I say over the next hour and a half or so that, you know, maybe you are already doing a great job of, but I promise you there's going to be a few ingredients that you absolutely need that are crucial. So get your notepad out, try to prune back as much as you can from a focus level, and let's get in a zone. Now, you will be getting the recording of this, so you'll be able to replay this over and over, but I'm telling you, stay focused on what we're going to do if you want to have your best year ever. Now, part of having your best year, number one thing I'm going to start off with is you got to be here a year from now. Count today as your day one. And count this next year that no matter what, no matter how emotionally sidetracked, fear, doubt, worry, whatever hits you, and look, if you're building a business and living in this world, living the life that you're living, if you're a normal human, you're going to go through massive obstacles this year. At least one major, maybe two or three or four, and a lot of road bumps along the way. Some of them are going to feel bigger than they really are, and that's where the managing your action and emotions come into play. But if you're going to have your best year ever, you got to be here a year from now, and you've got to also prune out all the doubt, the negative, the fear, all that stuff, the failure of the past. You've got to start with a fresh start with you and I right now to have your best year ever. All right? So let's go ahead and dive in to this. And again, I don't know. I only put together the slides that are the most important slides to help you get off to a fast start and to help you have your best year ever. This webinar, it's possible it could be an hour, maybe an hour and 30, maybe longer, but I'm going to do my best to make sure that we cover every single ingredient that helped me from going from being at one of the worst times in my life ever financially. Because sometimes what it takes to bring out your best, unfortunately, takes the worst. That's what it was like for me. And many of you have heard this story over and over, but I couldn't do this webinar. I couldn't do this course if I didn't share with you what it took for me. For me, because I'm so prideful, so stubborn, so strong-willed, call it what you want. Maybe you can relate to that. You're strong-willed. For me, it took having both my cars repossessed right there at that house in Vista, California. In that driveway, living in that really small community, I mean that big community with, you know, where we downsized to, is where my daughter said to me, looked me at the eyes, and she said, "Daddy, where are they taking our cars?" when I had my car repossessed was the biggest blessing. I didn't know it at the time, but it was the absolute biggest wake-up call of my life. It was the biggest blessing that ever hit me. It's when I finally had my aha moment. And I said, enough is enough. No more fear, no more doubt, no more indecision, no more confusion, no more stressing about the bill collectors, no more worried about the IRS freezing our bank accounts, no more negative depression that we don't have a car anymore. I just got to figure out how. And I prayed that God would show me how, and he did. And what I did that year not only changed my life, but 40,000 people that joined me in the next 2 years from that. 500 personally enrolled because of the DNA, the ingredients, the keys, the strategies, the plan that I am going to give you every ingredient that it took me to have my best year ever, and what it took me to have my next best year after that. My biggest mistake is not understanding what I'm about to show you 22 years. If I understood and I got it in my mind earlier, I would probably be a $3 million monthly earner if I was in a solid company like you are in right now, or I pray that you're in right now. So you ready to rock and roll? Let's go. Hold on tight because I want to ask you a question. What percent of your best are you operating at right now? Put it in the comments. What percent of your best are you operating at right now? In fact, you know what I'm going to do? Raise your hand if you know what percent if you think you know what, like your best possible potential. Does anybody want to volunteer real quick? Raise your hand here in the webinar, for those of you that are live with me, and just curious, if you don't mind sharing verbally. I don't see it working here. Anybody raise your hand real quick? And let me know. I'm going to call on you real quick. Okay, Alana, what percent do you think you're operating at right now? Just take a guess of out of 100%, your best potential, what do you think you're operating at right now? Can you hear me? Alana, your line's live, by the way. I don't know if your computer's muted. All right, I'm going to go to Lynn Ann, too. Maybe you can pop back on. Lynn Ann, I saw your hand come up, too. There you go. Lynn Ann, what percentage are you operating at right now? Lynn Ann? Can you hear me? Or Alana?
Okay, I can hear you now. This is Alana.
Okay, go for it.
I'm going to say 5%, Tom.
Well, that's being very honest. Seriously? That's
yeah, seriously.
It's interesting. Okay, good. Well, I appreciate it, and I appreciate your sharing with me. Here's what I'm going to tell you, everybody. I forgot what study that studied this, but they studied human potential. Okay, whatever this study was, and it shocked me that the average producers in marketing, sales, sports, athletics, working out, focusing on eating right, is at 40% across the board. You know, Alana's being very honest right now. I have predicted, and again, I don't know for sure, but I would bet that our industry, I bet most of you are not even operating at 40% yet. But I want you to after this call. And it's not something you need to acquire. It's not some skill that has to be downloaded. And before I finish any further with this webinar, I want you to understand I'm going to give you what I believe based on experience is the most important tool that you need. This webinar, this series is not about the extreme how-to skills of how to connect with people, share a message, and get them started. That's extremely important. I have a lot of training that teaches you the skills and drills and action. This is more about how to get up to what you already have within you today, not tomorrow, not what you have to acquire next year. I am telling you that if all of you right now went from, for Alana, 5%, some of you are at 10%. I predict the average in our industry is 20% at your potential. The ones that I've coached, the friends that I have, and look, there are many six-figure earners that are still only at 30, 40%, maybe 50% of their potential. How do I know? Because I know what I was like when I thought I was at 100%, but I wasn't getting anywhere near the results. And I know what it was like to be the number one guy in my company, doing the activities that everybody in my team should do. And I knew what it felt like based on my results. And what was really cool is even though I was at 100% of what I thought was my best that year, I was working less hours. When you're operating at your best focus, your best ability of skill now, when you're operating at your best focus, and I'm going to show you what that looks like as we progress, you will be growing 2 to 10 to 50% more, 50 times more speed results than you are right now. Because if you're at even, let me give some of you the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say that you're at 80% of your best potential and you're putting in your best work ethic, your best strategy 80% of the time. You're at your 80% best potential. Even 80% doesn't mean that you're getting 80% results, right? You know, it means that it's usually much better. The only way to really focus and grow this business with massive momentum is to get yourself as close to what is possible for your best day ever. What does that look like? And guys, can I tell you what this is not about? It's not about going beyond. It's not about pushing. It's not about pain. It's not about sacrificing your whole life. And I'm not going to ask you to do anything that you can't already do based on your personality type, your belief level, your faith level. Of course, you've got to increase your faith. I'm not going to ask you to become something that you're not. You don't have to be some kind of driven A personality. That's not what your best is. Your best is based on your age, your looks right now, your skill right now, the time that you have right now, the company and the comp plan that you're in, your success or failure right now where you're at, your team, big or small, of where you're at. How do you maximize what is possible for you to do absolutely right now? Okay, let's go. I want to get your percentage up. If you get your percentage up for Alana to 10%, you're going to double your productivity significantly, and that's what I want to help you guys with. So what the thing about your best is this. All your best is your normal, okay? Normal is better than being great. Normal is better than being good. Normal is better than being above average. You know why? Because again, all I'm asking you for is what are you supposed to be doing today based on your exact circumstances of who you are and what you have. That's it. That's your best. And here's how to get there. Here's how you build like a pro. You go from learning to being good to learning how to be great. And I threw this one in there because I heard this ultra ego driven leader in a company say that he didn't want to be great. He doesn't try to be good. He wants to dominate. Now and to be honest, that's probably how I built in the past. I didn't want to be good or great. There's a lot of people that in your company are great. I was so competitive. I really wanted to dominate. But then, thank goodness, God showed me another way. It's better than trying to dominate. It's better than being great. It's better than being good. You guys guessed what it is, right? It's just your best. That's it. That's what you have to do. So let's break it down. I've never had the clarity like I'm going to show you right now. How many hours does it take you to sponsor one person Does anybody know that answer? I'll tell you what it took me my first year. I should have broke this down. I'm going to do it real quick with you. Okay, so let me show you how many hours it took me to sponsor 3 people in a year. So there's 24 hours in a day times, let's just say 30 times 12 divided by 3. Okay, it took me 2,888 hours. I hope I'm doing my math right. But basically, in an entire year, it took me 2,888 hours to sponsor my mom, because she had no choice, my girlfriend, right, and a friend. 3 people. It wasn't even my skill that did it, right? They were just being nice and signed up with me. But how many hours does it take you to sponsor someone, right? I hope it doesn't take 2,880 like it taught me, like it was for me my first year. And then I got better, and I got much better. But let me just give you an example. If you're working 10 hours part-time in your home business or full-time per week. Now look, if your numbers are only 5 hours, cut it in half. If it's double, you guys could figure out the math, but let me show you how this could work. Okay, if it took you 80 hours to sponsor 1 person, that means your ability to be at your best right now would take you 2 months to sponsor 1 person. You guys got that? Takes you 2 months to sponsor 1 person. How many of you, by a raise of hands, would say, that's about where you're at right now? Okay? Means that every 2 months, like clockwork, you're finding 1 person that doesn't just want to be a customer, that says, I want to earn money partnering and building a team with you. I have goals, dreams, desires. These are people that want to work. These are people that want to build a business with you. Does that make sense? So I want you to really digest that. 80 hours, 2 people. All right, let's move on. Now, what about if you get better at this process? And oh, by the way, you see there the word average? Believe it or not, this is the average of your company, of network marketing. And by the way, it's above average, to be honest. If you're sponsoring 1 person every other month, you could build a good business over many, many years. But look, what's the alternative, right? Even if it took you going through my mentorship, going through my training, what if it did take you, 2 months? But here's the thing. I don't want you to be average. Trust me, you do not want to be average. You want to be what? Normal. You want to be normal. What's normal look like? Normal's your best. So let's just say your best is sponsoring 1 person per 40 hours, right? That means that every single month you're sponsoring 1 person. Now you're moving way above average. How do you get better at doing that? You take action, get rid of fear, and increase your skill. Take action, get rid of more junk, disbelief. Just stop listening to the lie once and for all that you can't do this, and increase your skill. Look, you're going to get tired of me saying this year, but I'm going to say something very important. It took me 50 seminars back to back to not just be good, to be an expert at learning personality types, at learning what my mentor was teaching me. Prior to that, I went to hundreds with my other mentors over the years, hundreds of boot camps, sponsoring academies, audio cassettes back in the day. Now, I'm not old enough for 8 tracks, but I saw them when I was growing up. Over and over. Look, to learn how to hit a golf ball takes about 1 minute. To learning how you can hit that golf ball swinging the right way to go onto the tee, so where you're playing golf well, man, it could take months, if not years, to get really good at that. It takes practice upon practice. One training, one conference call, one company convention is going to give you belief. It's going to help you get rid of some doubt. It should help you get some skill. But there's no such thing as going through one seminar to learn golf, one seminar to learn to be a martial artist, one seminar to be an Olympic swimmer or just a good swimmer, one seminar to do anything in life, to be a real estate agent. You know, I was just thinking about it. This is going to be our biggest year ever. We're on pace for an income level that was only a dream for years. I can't even, it's like crazy. Learning how to do coaching. My content, I feel confident that we've always had great content, but we've never been, to be honest, good at scaling a business and doing all the pieces of the marketing to scale. This is the first year where after 8 years, I'm like, we've got enough skill to stop making the mistakes in marketing and running a business, to where most likely we're going to have by far the biggest year of our life. We're already on pace to have a great year in business. And I'll never forget the time in network marketing to where I know that I've got this thing. I know that I pick up the golf club if I was a golfer, and I know I can put it right on the green. I know I can sponsor. I know I can help you sponsor. And the thing that it takes for you is more training than you can imagine. And you want to budget, whether it's my training or not. You want to budget to get yourself to the convention. You want to find a way to keep your business lean enough, make enough profit, find a way to get to the next training with your company. Because if you don't want to sponsor one every 80 hours, you've got to shorten that learning curve. You got to collapse time frames. And the number one thing that it takes is ingredients of skill. Let's go beyond that. 20 hours, which means every month you're getting 2 people in every single month. Okay, you with me on that? You're getting 2 enrollments per month, and you could do some damage in a good way with 2 people per month. And of course, it takes more skill set, but you're amongst just a few people in our industry by even sponsoring 2 people per month. And if you can do 2 per month, you can go beyond that, and within every single 10 hours that you're working. And if you're working 10 hours a week, why couldn't you sponsor 1 person per month? And then at that point, you are doing great. Look, if you're sponsoring 1 person per month, you're amongst the top 1% of your company in the industry. And look, some of you are like, Tom, I'm not even sponsoring 1 every 80 hours. Well, let's get you there first. Get some more skill. Get rid of some fear. Keep going on and on and on until you're getting to the point where you've got to quantify. If you're going to be the best, you've got to track it. Start right now after this webinar, after this series of your best year ever. And I want you to go onto my Facebook, email us, and I'm curious. I want to know when it takes you to how many hours from now. And look, these aren't just hours in a day. These are hours you're working your business. Does that make sense? So I'm not talking 24 hours in a day. I'm talking hours you actually work your business. So actually my 2,800, it didn't, that was 24 hours in a day. So it's probably a lot less than that. That I actually work, but back then I was actually working 60 hours a week, believe it or not, because I was hungry. But so I was doing all the wrong things, by the way. All right. So you want to go from average to above to good to great. And then there's one more. You got it. It is at your best. What is the best amount of people that you can sponsor per hours that you are working your business? What if you can sponsor one person per hour that you're working your business? What if? I'll tell you, you can. I got to the point where every hour I worked, I sponsored one person per hour. One. My goal is to sponsor more than that now because I've got a lot of leverage, a lot of systems, a ton of skill, a ton of posture, a belief, processes, and a small team of people around me that would allow me to leverage at the highest level possible. But look, it's not about trying to recruit as many people as possible. It's just about being your best, because not only do you want to be the best at the percentage of skill that you're working at, not only do you want to be the best of how many people you can sponsor per hour or per 10 hours that you're working, you want to be the best at how good is your ratio of duplicating your new people that you're joining. That's how I went to 40,000 people. Okay, I gotta take a quick break. Give me 10 seconds. Hey babe, can you give me some water, sweetheart? Right here. Okay. So, and I have you at elite, but I'm changing that. Again, if you're at sponsoring one person per hour or two or even three or four per whatever per day or per every other day, you're at not an elite, you're at your best. Now, but again, the question is, what is your best? Don't worry if you're not sponsoring one person every 2 hours, or even one per 10, or one per 20 or 40. All you can do is all you can do. And I promise you, all you can do is going to be enough if you're focused and you keep taking action on what's possible. So you need more skill. And the last part, you're going to need skill and a little bit of leverage. So here's the question that I have for you. What would you do if you were that guy in the picture right there, stranded on a desert island right now? You've got to go there with me. Look, get refocused. If you were stranded on a desert island right now, what would be the first thing that you would do? You have no food, no shelter, and no water. What would you do? Would you say, you know what? I'm going to start working on my tan before I can figure out how to get food? Would you say, you know what? Let me go tour the island and check out all the different possibilities of what's here? Would you do that? Or would you be like the feeling like you're late for an airplane and you're rushing and you only have an hour to get there and the plane's taken off, times 10, right? If you're on a desert island, your heart's going to be like this. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so blessed that I'm alive from the plane crash, let's say. But you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm alive. I can breathe. I'm not hurt that bad. What do I do now? You focus on survival, period. You do not focus on prospecting for food. You only focus on, you don't have the luxury to prospect. You only have the luxury to get results. The reason why so many people in your business is not getting results is because many people in our industry, they get in a home business like they're stuck on a stranded island, and they don't get into extremely focused results of getting the job done. Their only focus is doing activities, dialing for dollars, learning how to blog before you actually go to work, learning how to be a marketer before you talk to anybody. You got to learn to talk, connect, share, get people started. You need to learn how to get food, shelter, water. Food, shelter, and water for your business daily at your best is connecting with people, sharing a message, and getting them started. That's food, shelter, water. Does that make sense? If you are not thinking this way, you're not going to survive on the island. You're not going to survive in your business. You may not like hearing that. It doesn't mean you can't survive, but you will become a casualty if you're not focusing on results. Because so many people think next week, after I get more product training, I'm going to do something. You know what? I'll make some calls, but if you don't think that you're going to get them started with certainty, you're not going to get the food you need. You're not going to get the oxygen you need to breathe. You're not going to find the warm shelter to survive. Here's the big key. You have to treat your business every day like it was January 31st, the end of this year. You have to treat your business like it's the last day of the year, and you're only one customer, maybe 2 or 5 customers away from hitting your financial goal, winning the biggest company contest of the company's existence, reaching your goals for your family. You're 5 customers away. It's the January 31st, the last day of this year. How are you going to operate? You're going to operate like you're late for an airplane. You're going to call your chicken list, aren't you? Of course you are. Are you going to have a sense of urgency? Are you going to clean your desk that day? No. Are you going to figure out fancy social media marketing that day? No. Are you going to read a book on network marketing that day? No. Are you going to call your prospects and say, hey, you want to try some amazing products? No. You're going to call up someone and say, hey, look, I need your help. I talked to you about the products for the last year, and I know for whatever reason you said the timing wasn't right or you didn't have money. Do me a favor, get it today. I'm pushing for a contest. The products are amazing. And look, if you don't like them, if they're not everything that I said they are, I will buy them back from you. Please just help me out, would you? You will, and again, I'm not saying you have to say those words, but what would you have if you have to survive today? If you had to breathe, shelter, food, water, you would go and say, I'm going to go and I'm going to call my chicken list. I'm going to call my customers. If you needed one more person to join your business, you would say, look, I know you said you wanted to join at the end of or next year, but I'm telling you, I'm looking to partner with someone right now. And if you get started with me right now, I'm going to show you how to get trained over the holidays. I'm going to show you how to position yourself for the new year before the new year even kicks into gear. I'm going to show you how not only to get started, but how to make your money back before we even do it. So again, I'm not saying those are the exact words, but when you have a sense of urgency and you treat every single day like it's January 31st and you're just this close away from hitting your goals. Now you want to know the secret? The secret is, let's just say today is the first day of the month. I want you to learn in that if you're only working your business 1 hour per day or 10 hours per week, I want you to treat that hour or 2 or whatever you're working today You must treat that day with a sense of urgency like it's the last day of the year or the month. And you've got to hit your goal. You've got to treat your customers and your people you're talking to about the business not with a stalking mentality. It's not about that. It's not about being overbearing. It's not about being a salesman. It's about, and we used this in a coaching call a few weeks ago, it's about being a wild stallion on the inside, but being like James Bond on the outside. So you're coming across with certainty, clarity, conviction, but on the inside, on the outside, but on the inside, you're getting the products, right? On the inside, you're like, look, the customer says, how does the products work? Amazing. That's why our company did over 100 million in sales from this one product alone last year. Look, the product's great. Every customer that I've gotten on it is a raving fan. But if you're not a raving fan, I'll be shocked. But if you're not, our company has an awesome customer satisfaction program. And look, I'll even buy it back from you. I know you're not going to want your money back. The product rocks. And I really want to earn your business. I really am looking for a long-term customer. And I know if you try my product just 1 month, you become a customer just 1 month, I know I get the privilege of earning your business long-term. Does that make sense? Great, thank you. Welcome aboard. Let me go ahead and get your address where you want your product shipped to. Do you guys get the mentality? I'm not being overbearing or overselling. I'm just acting like it's the last day of the month. I'm acting like I'm on a desert island and I want to get home to see my beautiful wife, Kim, who's looking really hot at her computer in front of me. You should come say hi, honey. Come say hi in a few minutes. I want to come back to my 4 babies, who's not babies anymore. I want to come back to my 4 daughters. I want to come back to what God has for me, and I don't think he wants me to be stuck on a desert island. Look, you most likely, many of you have been stuck on a desert island. You wait all month and not taking action at your best. You're at 20%, 5%, 50%. Some of you at 80%. 80% is not your best. Do you hear me? I love you. I want to be your coach, but I'm going to tell you 80% is good, but it's not where you're called to be. You're called to be at your best. Your best is only within what you can do. And what you can do and the way that God created you is pretty dang amazing. Treat every day like it's the last day of the month. And if you do that on the first, you do it on the second day of the month, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, all the way, you'll look up at the end of the month on usually about the 20th or the 25th, you'll look back at your numbers when you get the skill up, the focus is there, the heart pounding is there, the sense of urgency is there, you're going to eat today is there. When you operate like this, you're going to be in a rare situation in life. Could I tell you what that feels like? I pray that you get this right now. You will look around at your company convention. You're going to be on your company trainings and you're looking at everybody else's numbers. How many customers they got for the month? How many new team members they got? How many people did they engage in duplication and building a championship team? You're going to look back at everybody else in the company and you're going to go, man, am I in a weird movie? Why is everybody going so slow? When you operate at this level, and it's not anything out of the box, it's just your best, remember. When you're operating at your ability to be normal, of what you already have, everybody else around you, you're going to see them as the most ridiculous, lazy, self-entitled, complaining, excuse making, lover of fear, doubtful, self-sabotaging, amazing people, but gripped with a bunch of crap. And if you're there right now, stop listening to the lie. We are designed to hold every thought captive and get rid of the negative. Any negative thought is a lie from the enemy. Everyone is a lie. Unless you're about to run out in the street and there's a car coming. That might not be the enemy. That might be God saying, stop, there's a truck coming. But most of the time, the fear, the doubt, the guilt, the ego is all a lie that you can get rid of right now. And start taking massive action. When you're in action, you become a hard, fear. It's hard for fear to catch you when you're at your best. I promise you. You don't have to go through 1,000 hours on getting rid of fear. Fear will try to chase you, but if you're working at your best, it won't have time to catch up because you're not going to believe the doubt, the lie, the fear, all the stuff that you've been maybe, many of you have been believing. Let's move on. This is funny. This is the face you make when it's the last day of the month and you behind, right? Here's another fun one. Madness. This is the end of the month. I do not want you to be like these two people. This is not how the end of the month should look like. The end of the month should look like you're the number one or one of the top 10 sponsors for customers in your company. It should look like you've engaged some really good men and women in your business. It should not be stressful and chaotic because you hit your goals with what I'm showing you. So what does it take? Now look, some of you think that I'm about to show you, and I'm going to go through this very quickly. If you've been a part of a lot of my free training and paid training and sponsoring academies and all the different products I have, I'm just going to tell you a big hint. Every single one, every training that I do is all based on the 3-step map, and how to get good at that will take you time. But the 3-step map is the plan. I'm not going to spend much time on this. Many of you already know it, but this is the game plan that allows you to be your best. This is what changed my life when I had my aha moment and had my cars repossessed. You want to connect with people. You want to learn how to connect with people. How do you know you're connecting with people correctly? When you're getting results, and I'll show you what that looks like. So once you connect with either A, people that you know, or B, people that you don't know, you want to simply connect with them by saying less words and then referring them or inviting them or sharing a simple message or a presentation. It's another word for that. So you want to connect with people, send them to a presentation, and then you want to follow up with them immediately afterward, and you want to get them started. And as soon as they get started, you're either going to plug them into training as a business builder, or of course get them in as a customer. This is the plan that'll help you do your best. And you want to do this 75% of the time. Okay? Now look, I'm not going to keep going through this, but I want to give you the big picture right now on what it looks like to do your best. You don't have to figure out right now on how to be an internet guru. You don't have to be a social media marketer. It has taken me 8 years, and yes, I'm a slow learner. You could probably go faster. It's taken me 8 years to learn how to build a brand, how to get email marketing and text broadcasting and doing my videos right and doing my live stream. And I'm just now getting to the point where we're figuring out how to build, we're figuring out how to do the marketing aspect of building a business. So right now, the most duplicatable process in all of network marketing, even in this year that we're in 2017, 2018, 2019, it's not going to change. Maybe in 2020, the internet and leverage and systems will become more of a play, and they are now. But I'm telling you, what duplicates is what you can do as simple as possible. What duplicates is what you can do to bring in people, and then immediately, if you ask me this question right now, what do I do? Let's just say I got you sponsored right now. I talked to you. I sent you to my website to watch a movie, and I called you back and got you started. And if I did that, and you said, okay, now how do I make money for my family? What do I do? How do I get off to a fast start? I can confidently look you in the eyes and say, do what I did to get you started. Learn how to connect and say the right words. Learn how to get more people to show up to the presentation, and learn how to get people started just like I did with you. That's exactly what I did. And that there is what is the most duplicatable, replicatable, simple process that you can wake up tomorrow and learn the foundation of replication, and you being at your normal, you taking care of your family on that desert island so you can get back to them, you being at the highest level of results of any training system. I will challenge any trainer in the world. Like if I had the 3-step map and I was to go head to head with the #1 internet network marketer in the world, yes, they may sponsor hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people month one, where maybe I only sponsor 3 or 5 or 10 or maybe 20, and they sponsor 200. And the next month they sponsor another 200 from the internet, and I still sponsor 3 or 4 or 5, let's say. And the next month, I'm still sponsoring about 10% of what they're doing. I will assure you, with if I had to bet $100,000 at the end of a year, maybe 2 years, that my 5 sponsored people are going to get in and say, what do I do? Well, you just connect with people by following this script. You learn how to get people to the presentation right there. And you learn how to follow the getting started 5-step process that Tom teaches on how to get everybody started the right way. That's what you do. Now, take action. Right now, of course, there's a little bit more training than that. And they can get that in the getting started training that we do. And oh, by the way, if you want to write this down, it's not there yet, depending on when you're watching this, if you're watching the recording of this later. But at priorityteam.com, you want to write this down, priorityteam.com/start. I am putting together a free getting started for every brand new person that you enroll that goes into the basics of what I'm doing with you right now. I'm not going to obviously go into the best this whole course, but I'm going to share with you the basics of the 3-step map for your new people so they can get off to a fast start like I used to. Because you want to do what duplicates, and the best way to do that is to follow the 3-step map. And look, the way to get good at it is to get skills. Remember the skills? You want to go and you want to get the training. You don't just want to go through one sponsoring academy or one boot camp. That'll help you for sure. You'll increase your results if you take action for sure. But why would you want to stop there? If you have to learn 100 ingredients before you can get to the top of your comp plan, what if it took you 100 things that you didn't know you needed, but you need, but you don't know it until you go through the next sponsoring academy, and I share with you one thing that you go, oh my gosh, okay, 99. You go to your company convention, you learn something from the #1 earner, 98. You go to my next live event that we're coming up in the next month or two. You go to our next live event, You take off 5 ingredients because you're with me 2 days straight, right? You guys getting it? How long do you want to get your 100 ingredients eliminated to where you know that you know that you know how to connect at a pro level, your best level, to connect at a level where you know how to build a business. Does that make sense? And you do it 75% of the time. Man, I put this together. I'm going to give you the dirty, down and dirty, okay? I want you guys to take a break, okay? Do a little stretch break right now, okay? I'm going to go into some pretty good stuff right now. I want to see how many of you are engaged here. Good. Good to see so many of you out there. All right, let's get rocking. How do you get into momentum? It takes going beyond what feels normal or what makes sense. See, even this statement might not make sense to you. It takes going beyond what feels normal. It's almost impossible to do this. It's almost impossible. If you're a thinker and you're an analyzing person and you want to structure everything out and you want to plan things for momentum, good luck. Momentum is one of these things that's like chasing the air. It's so hard to get there when you're thinking about it, when you're wondering about it, when you're momentum takes going beyond what feels like normal. That's why so many people, they never get into momentum. You know, yes, you may sponsor one person a month, but momentum looks like you're sponsoring 5, 10 people a month, and 3 or 4 of those are sponsoring 5, 10 a month. And then the next month, you're not just bringing in, 5 more, your team's bringing in 30, and then 90, and then 120, and then 400, and then 1,000, and then 5,000. Do you guys get it? That's my normal momentum. I'm not going to have a team of 100 people in 90 days. I'm going to have a few hundred. I'm not going to have 1,000 people in my team at the end of the year because I know what momentum looks like for my potential. I'm going to have preferably thousands, if not over 10,000 plus people year one, not because I'm not great, because I don't get caught up in trying to think my steps through. It's got to go beyond what feels comfortable for you. And if that doesn't make sense, you just stick with me. It feels like it's not possible. When I get your goals, and maybe you want to get to an extra 20,000 in volume, you got to go beyond what's possible. You've got to set big goals. And then you've got to work on a game plan of 10 different strategies of how you got to get there. You got to go beyond what you think is possible, because it's amazing when you're at your best what's really possible. And again, you got to push past the word can't, fear, doubt, the thought of you're not good enough. You'll never get into momentum if you're dragging all that junk around. It's hard. You got to make a mess. It's part of the process. Making a mess goes back to the first point here. It's going beyond what feels normal. Your desk may not be organized. You still may not be perfect with your contact manager or your follow-up system. It's gonna feel a little uncomfortable. You've got to be okay being a little bit messy. You're not going to be structured. There's no way I can help you be organized if you're not already great at it. You've got to get a little bit chaotic, a little bit of action. You got to get a lot of action. You got to have more people to talk to than you know what to do with. You got to have more follow-up than you think you can handle in your 10 hours or 5 hours per week. Here's the deal, and I talked about this. You're going to be criticized when you're operating at a high level. And remember, your high level is just your normal. When you're operating at your normal best, people are not going to be used to it. Your family, your friends are going to go, "What got into you? Why are you being so weird? Why? You're not being weird. You're being at your normal high energy of what you're called to be. You're at your normal high results of what you're called to be. And you will be persecuted just like people of faith. If you're a person of bold faith, you're going to be persecuted. You're going to be criticized. You're going to be attacked, maybe, verbally at least. You're going to get that. It's part of momentum. It might feel like you're out of balance. You don't have to be out of balance, but you always are going to have feelings like something's falling apart. That's normal, meaning you're going to feel like, oh my gosh, I just sponsored 5 this month. What do I do with the last 4 that I got in last month? You're going to feel like you're not giving them enough attention. You're going to feel like you're not training them. Trust me, you're going to have those moments. Don't stop. The thing you do not want to do is stop new momentum and go babysit the people you brought in 4 months ago. I promise you, I can help you with more training, plug them into a system that doesn't take you babysitting. But that's going to feel normal. Almost every single person that's a leader that I work with, they've lost the gift of their best. They've lost the gift of their momentum. You know why? Because they think they've got to manage their team, which means babysitting, which means hand-holding a bunch of people that most likely are not going to do anything, even though you feel guilty and you want to spend more time answering their questions. But really, no matter how much you help them, there's a large percentage of people that you're going to work with that are stuck in fear, doubt, that are stuck in being lazy, that are not at their best. They're operating at 1% of their potential because of being in a comfort zone in life. And no matter how much you work with them, they're not going to do anything. And if you think because of guilt of not helping them, if you start putting all of your precious momentum, all of your gift of energy, if you start giving them your best and you spend all your time with people that aren't going to do anything, good luck ever seeing momentum in this in your lifetime again, or in this year for sure. Now I know that may seem harsh. I'm being serious. I am been doing this every day as a coach for 9 years, as a top earner for years, 22 years. I live and breathe this industry. The number one death of your best is lack of momentum. Lack of momentum is you get caught like a deer in the headlights of fear, doubt, guilt. Someone on your team is saying, you're not training me. Your presentation's not good enough anymore. And you go running off trying to change your getting started training. You go running off trying to manage your team and give them what they need. But what they need is to connect with people, send people to presentation, and get people started. Think about it. You get it? They don't need to learn all the things they think they need to learn. They don't need to learn how to do all the things they think. People think that this course, this marketing course, they think that this guru that has higher level type stuff, and it may be good stuff, they think that they're failing because they need this pie in the sky training now. They don't. They need to talk to someone, to send them to a presentation and get them started, period. And if it's not working for them, they need to figure out why. They need to adjust them talking too much. They need to adjust them talking too little, being a salesman. But look, that's why you want to get them a part of my training or someone's training that's going to tell them the truth of grassroots duplication. Does that make sense? Otherwise, you're going to feel guilty. And again, You're going to go into management mode, which kills momentum. I will not be able to help you get your best this year if you get stuck into old network marketing leader habits. When I was in this mode, when I was in this mode, I was ready to quit network marketing forever. I thought it was the worst industry in the world. I was making six figures. I was fat. I was depressed. I was stressed. I wanted to move out of our beautiful town we lived in, San Diego at the time. I wanted to leave our hometown because I didn't want to see anybody else. I didn't want to talk to people on my team. I didn't want to bump into anybody I ever talked to about the business in the grocery store ever again. I didn't, my wife and I, we had no friends. We had teams of 10,000 plus people back then, but we had no friends. Why? Because I didn't want another friend. I didn't want to have friends over for dinner. I was burnt out of people. But was I burnt out of people? No. I was burnt out of trying to be a counselor, trying to be a psychologist, trying to be what I wasn't called to be. I was called to build momentum, building teams, transforming lives with, hear me, a system that's better than you, better than me, better than both of us, better than a group of gurus combined. I need a system that's better than me. But when you have stress and pressure, you're putting too much darn pressure, guilt, stress will turn into depression, and it will have you quit this industry if you're out of balance too much and you're not in momentum building activities, period. Okay, hope that wasn't too deep, but I know you needed to hear that. At least some of you need to hear that. If you've never been in massive momentum, you must let go of what you think it will take to get there. Again, I think I talked about this. If you don't know what it looks like, you need to get a mentor. You need a mentor to say, no, do not walk there. You do not need to put together another presentation. You do stop feeling guilty about thinking that you're not supporting your team. It's not true. You do not need a better company presentation. You don't need another product education training. You don't need to get certified for your nutritional products. You don't, right? We don't know what we don't know that we don't know. And if you don't know and you're not getting results, you're not in momentum, you gotta stop doing the same darn thing expecting it's going to be different tomorrow. You're going to wake up and tomorrow it's going to be different. It's not. It takes you having an aha moment. And it takes you going, okay, I'm not going to go through one sponsoring academy and think I'm a pro. I'm not going to go through one training. I'm going to get a mentor that I trust, and I'm going to lock arms, and I'm going to find a way to maybe get two mentors, and I'm going to find a way to go, how did you get into momentum? How did you build a team of 3,000 people last year? How do you sponsor one person a week? What do you do? How do you do it? How much time do you spend with your new people? You ask questions of a mentor that knows how to help you navigate. It's the only way to do that. And look, I'm gonna give you something real quick. You want to go write this down. You want to go to coachwithtom.com if you're ready for some coaching. If you want, and you'll get a call from either me or my wife Kim or one of our amazing mentors, coaches that are on our team that can help you and point you in the right direction for either free training, paid training, coaching. We have a lot of different programs that we've launched this year to give you the ingredients to take those 100 ingredients that you need, maybe 10 ingredients that you need, and make it to the point where you got it. You know what to do, but it takes a mentor. Anyways, Coach with Tom, and I'll bring it up here. You got to be able to hit your big goals, how to hit your big goals, and learn, again, from a mentor what that looks like. All right, ingredient. Here's the next big major ingredient that changed my life. Now, this took me having my cars repossessed. This took my daughter saying, Daddy, where are our cars? This is where I went from just prospecting and making my 50 calls or my 10 follow-ups versus if I'm going to work today, I'm going to have a mindset where I'm going to sponsor someone every day that I'm working. So that mindset is this, a 1 per day mindset. Now, please hear this. It doesn't mean that you're actually going to sponsor one person today. It doesn't mean you're going to sponsor one person this week. Remember, all you got to do is your best. Your best might be, it's going to take you 80 hours. Right now, your best might be 40, 20, maybe 10. So why would I tell you that you have to have a 1 a day mindset? Here's why. If you ever want to have a shot of enrolling one person per 80 hours, one person per month, you've got to expect today that you're going to eat, drink, warm shelter. You've got to think in your mind, if I'm going to be away from my family, connecting with people with this device right here, either this way or this way. However, if you're going to connect with people away from your family, my family is throughout our house or at their friends right now. And I love being with you. This is my purpose in life, part of it. My other purpose in life is to be out of this office, away from my camera, and with my family, being with them and being discipling people in my church and working with people. I have different purposes. This is a big part. Being here with you right now is a big part of that. But if I'm building a business, I don't want to waste my life. I'm going to tell you how I used to think about this. If you're not expecting to enroll someone today, I used to think of myself as I am stealing, like physically stealing from my beautiful wife, Kim. I'm stealing from my beautiful 4 babies. I am stealing from my purpose and time with them because I'm just messing around at 5%, 10% of my potential. Or industry average. Remember industry average? Remember? 40%. I don't want to be at 40%. If I'm at 40%, if you're at 40%, you're stealing from your life. You're stealing from your other calling and your other purpose. You got to move beyond where you're at, and you got to get to what's possible. The way that you have to do this is you've got to understand that if you're going to work today, next week, it's your job to sponsor. Now, look, please, I'm not saying you have to actually sponsor. That's why I didn't put in here, you have to guarantee a sponsorship today. No. I'm saying that if you're going to do it, it's a mindset. You have to believe in your heart, in your mind. You have to believe in every fiber in your nervous system, in your spirit. You have to believe that you are going to sponsor someone every day that you're working. Otherwise, I promise you, you'll just expect it tomorrow, next month. Next year, I'll have the best year of your life. No. You're going to have the best day of your life, the best year of your life by focusing on having the best hour of your life, the best day of your life. And the only way to do that is you got to focus on being unstoppable without being overbearing. You've got to get the skill and take the action today. And you've got to go and have a sponsoring mindset, a results action mindset every single day that you're working. And can I tell you, if you're doing that, you're getting rid of all the BS. Yeah, you're getting rid of all the fat. What the fat is wasting time, management, pretending like you're getting training, but really you're just wasting time. You've got to be, the only thing you're doing 75% of the time minimum is talking to a new human being, following up with a human being, a man or a woman that needs you to do their job. You're following up, you're sending more people to a presentation, and you're getting people started. It's the fundamental momentum building, mass producing, duplicatable, giving you a lot lower stress, helping you create a one-a-day mindset. When someone joins you, when a hurting mom that just went through a massive divorce, she's scared, stressed, and broke. She looks at you in the eyes through a live video or right in person, face to face, and she says, I am so afraid. You look that woman in the eyes and you say, do what I did to get you started. I promise you it'll work for you. Doesn't mean every single time. It might work the first time. It might take you 10 times to connect with someone, share a present, and get them started. It might take 10 times, but it works. And in your situation, I'm going to do whatever it takes to help you, but you gotta follow the simple process. And then you teach them what to do. Look, the course that you're going through right now, I want to make this worth $1,000 course, but I want to keep it as short as possible, to the point as possible, for someone on your team that is stuck, that's really stuck. And I'm going to give you a website afterward to where this is going to be the least expensive course that we ever offer, because I want people to go at least to that next step so they can get that mindset that it takes to build momentum. Because I don't want to get you in momentum only. I want to show you how to get your team activated into momentum as well. So it starts with simplicity and leverage. Okay? It's a simple-minded, single-focused minded process. Not double-minded, not multi-income stream, not multi-focused. I promise you, the lowest stress I've ever been in my life is when I woke up every day and I said, all I got to do is bless 1 to 2 people at my best ability and plug them into a system that teaches them how to do what? Bless 2 people. That's it. Period. And that's the 3-step map. I think you're getting it by now, so I'm going to move on. You want to clear your area of work. You want to get rid of ideas are good, but I promise you in our industry, ideas can be bad right now. Meaning, if you're like me, you're creative. If you're like me, you're a visionary. Or if you've got a lot of ideas, you got to bank it. My mentor used to tell me, bank it. If it's a good idea, it'll be a good idea next year or next month. Bank it. You don't need the course on XYZ now. You need to learn how to be an expert at connecting, sharing, starting first. And until you're a 6-figure income or someone that's got momentum, every single one of you can get the 6 figures fastest by learning the basics of people. Connecting, sharing, starting. This isn't old school. This is 2017 school. Trust me, if I had to put live or die on how to grow a team fast, it's what I'm showing you right now. This is what my team has to go through if they want to go to the next level. All right, let's move on. All right, so we talked about 10 hours per week. Here's an example of what it could look like. About 20 connections, which means that, what is that? About 30 minutes to make a connection. It doesn't mean you're sponsoring. I'm just talking that you're making the phone call. You're connecting with people specifically about the business or product. You should be able per 10 hours minimum. Now, this is more of a warm market. This is more of a relational. Now, look, if you're just calling flat leads in 10 hours, you can get to 2, 3, 400 people. Come here. You have something to tell me? Oh, I do? What time is it? 12? Oh, are people waiting for me? Oh, yes. Please. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. No, I got to finish this, honey. Okay, tell them we have to reschedule for 1. Let's do it at 1 o'clock. Okay, so you want to make 20 connections. You want to send 10 people to the presentation. So that's step number 2. Okay, out of the 20, you get 10 there. And then number 3, you want to get 1 person started. This is just an example. And again, remember, that may not be your best, but this is just a gauge of what it could look like for some of you that like somewhat of a kind of a game plan idea. This is an example of what you can be at now or work your way up to as an example of what's possible. Okay? So again, it's you plus 2. And this is just an example, a fun way to show what's possible. And I know this is a lot of numbers, but if you learn to sponsor 2 people in a month, and remember, what do? You teach them to do the same thing. You're talking 2, 4, 8, 16, 64, 128, so on and so forth, that in 1 year, within 1 year, you literally, if you keep it really simple, and there's only one thing I would expect in you, and there's only one thing you should expect in your team members, the 2 that you got started last month, last week, yesterday. Only one thing you should expect out of them. Do you guys get an idea what that is right now? It's your best. That's it. It's just your best. That's what you want to focus on. And then you have, it's actually more than 4,000 team members, but this is not pie in the sky. When you learn what momentum feels like, tastes like, when you know what the ingredients are to swinging a golf ball, you can hit the golf ball. When you know what swinging the bat of prospecting, connecting, sharing, starting, getting people started, keeping it simple, not babysitting, getting rid of the fear, operating at your best, understanding what to expect. It's just a formality for you to be able to get 2 people to 4,000 to 8,000 plus people in your business. You guys get it? We're almost done, by the way. So what level of a connector are you? I'm going to go through this very quickly. It's one of my favorite trainings that I do. Level 1 is where you just talk too much, you sell, you pitch, you beg. Then you learn to ask questions. Level 2. Then you learn to ask good questions. Then you learn to ask good questions that are genuine, where the prospect knows that you care. Then you go from asking curious questions, where they really like you because you're interested in their life. And then you go from that to asking postured, detective-like questions, where you really get to listen with discernment and wisdom. What do they like? What do they dislike? What are their fears? What's their past experience? What's their personality? What's their financial resources? How much time are they looking to spend? How much money? This is where you become a detective when it comes to being a great connector. And then you go from asking good, genuinely curious, detective-like questions while making them feel special, complimenting them, but you're not schmoozing them. You're not being sappy and nice. Are you with me? And then you go from all of that to being able to identify based on extreme experience what personality is that contractor from Idaho? What personality is that high energy mom from Tennessee? What is that guy what is Jim's personality that you just met from church? How do you identify their personality type? Skill, training, experience. Remember, it's so funny. Remember what I told you? It took me 50 seminars to not get good at understanding personalities, but to become literally part of my DNA of an expert at being able to hear what prospects' personality did God give them. Are they a driver? Are they a passive person? Are they a charismatic party kind of person? Are they an analytical, structured kind of person? How do I match my voice to their personality? Do you understand when you do that? It's literally like ethically, honestly cheating. It's so crazy how that process is. It's really simple. All right. This is that's one of my favorite things. So here's what we're wrapping up with, guys, is this. You want to get on fire for your best year ever? What I'm about to finish up with right now can help you do it more than anything I've shared. And I pray you've gotten a lot of value from what's possible. But I'm about to drop a bomb that changed my life. Do you realize something? You're not in network marketing. You're not in a business that sells your product. You may have the greatest product in the whole world. But when you really realize what your true product can be, your product can be transforming that single mom's life. Your product can help that mom get enough residual income. And more importantly than income, you know what your company is going to take for them to be successful? Getting past a lot of the stuff that almost everybody's gripped with. What is it? Bunch of crap, bunch of fear, a bunch of ego, a bunch of self-entitlement, a bunch of excuses, a bunch of stuff that they've been holding on to for months, years, decades. And how do you get yourself in really, not momentum? Momentum, I wish I could just light a fire right now. How do you get them on momentum with fire? And you're pouring gas on your momentum. You're pouring airplane fuel, which burns like crazy. How do you get like that? Get out of your own way of your own financial goals, your own rank goals. Don't process people. Become unstoppable with knowing that if you get over yourself, your excuses, whatever you got to get over, and you get beyond you, you get that skill, and you reach through that phone, or you could look someone in the eye on video or in person, and you learn how to do your job, which is to reach through that phone and bring them into a business, a purpose that can transform their future forever. Literally. Why? Because if you help them get rid of the crap that they've been holding on to, the abuse maybe that they had with their family members or friends or coworker or teacher, when you help them get past what almost all of us need to get past. I grew up in not a positive home, as positive as it could be. I grew up with a dad that was physically and verbally abusive. I grew up watching my dad beat up people for a living. My dad was an ex biker. He was a president, vice president of a hardcore, like Hell's Angel kind of a gang in Cleveland, Ohio. And I would literally grow up in biker bars. It has taken me 44 years of my life and 22 years in network marketing of training, drilling, spiritual, for me, spiritual equipping is the number one thing that's transformed my life. I became a Christian in a network marketing seminar. I learned how to be a better husband in the growth leadership training like what you're going through right now in this industry. I'm learning how to communicate with love through my church and what I've learned in this industry. I'm learning how to be a better man, a better dad, a better entrepreneur, a better mentor to you, so you can do this for your family, your team. But you've got to do your job. Get yourself out of the way of your income, your own fears. You got to get yourself out of the way of just your big goal, although that's important. You've got to get to purpose. I don't want to train you only for income. I'm only doing this with you right now because I want to build an army of people that are on fire. I want to build teams on fire for purpose. I want transformation. This is my calling for discipleship. I thought I was going to be a pastor. Nope. My calling is here with you right now in business. Get yourself to my next live event and you'll get more of a vision of that. Get yourself, if I'm doing it, in my next sponsoring academy. Get yourself in my mentorship VIP monthly coaching. But more importantly, whether you do it with me or not, be unstoppable for growth. Be unstoppable to find someone that knows how to help you where you're at. I may not resonate with you. You want to have your best year? Take action. Don't get caught up in a bunch of training either. Take action first. Get refinement and skill training with the mentor along the way. Get training. Take action. Take action. Take action. Get refinement. Get on fire. What is your best? What's your ratio of sponsoring people? And I'm telling you, you can do it this year. If you want to go to the next level, go to this website right now, coachwithtom.com. And you know what? I'm going to give you another website right now. I'm going to type it in here. I'm just going to type it in here right now. Wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do this. It's, what is it, honey? Best year, what is it? 2017. Best year 2017. Go to this website too, everybody. bestyear2017.com. This is my best course at my lowest price ever. And because you went through this course, I didn't expect to do this. If it's sold out, it's sold out. If the website's live, then go there. You could still go there right now, and get that course. So if you want more coaching and you want a free, quick coaching session, if you're serious, you'll either get a coaching with me, and it's only about 10, 15 minutes long, or my wife or one of our coaches. You can go to coachwithtom.com. And if you want to get my one of my top courses on what's the next step, go to bestyear2017.com and go. If you go there right now, you can get it at the discounted price until it's sold out. I only offer this for a period of time, and then sometimes we sell it out and then we'll relaunch it. But this is our best course for the next level, okay? Thank you so much. I'm going to do something to wrap this up that can help with your best year ever. I want to pray for your business. And again, if you're not into that, that's fine. but I want to pray for your business if you want to stick around for a free bonus session. Just 1 minute, okay? And otherwise, the best year ever course for this year is officially done. Now it's time for you to take action, okay? So let me pray, and we're gonna wrap this up. So Lord, we just thank you so much for everybody that's listening live and every single person that felt called to getting this course, to having their best year ever. Lord, I pray that your Holy Spirit will teach them to be bold, confident, that every time they hear a lie of fear, of doubt, of guilt, of self-sabotage, of belief that they can't do it, Lord, show them that that's not true. Show them how to bind that up in your name, Jesus, and break it, and to hold every single thought captive like you say in the Bible. Your word says to hold it all captive and just not believe the lie that we weren't born with. We were born to be courageous. We were born to have the living God live in us. And because you are living in us, we're meant to move mountains. We're meant to bless people. We're meant to make disciples. Whether it's in network marketing or in a church, it doesn't matter. But we're meant to transform lives and be in our purpose of what you've called us to do. So Lord, I pray that each and every one of them that is listening to this right now, that your Holy Spirit will just rock them right now, that you will give them clarity, peace, breaking all depression, breaking the confusion and the doubt and the lie, breaking the fear and the self-sabotaging, and giving them the roadmap that you give them, that you give me, to being the best that you've called us to be. We love you. We praise you in your amazing name, Jesus. In your name, amen. All right. I love you. I pray that you want to partner with me, but you already know if you do or don't. But no matter what, I want to bless you for this this year, and I want to know your success stories. Please get in touch with us, email us, hit us up on Facebook, find a way to connect with us, and let us know how we can help you. But more importantly, I want to know, did you have the best year of your life? God bless you.